What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. Got a great co-main event, chief support to Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. We got the businessman making his debut in the junior welterweight division, Keshawn Davis. Norfolk's own Keshawn Davis taking on Jamaine Ortiz, a guy that's been in the ring with Vasily Lomachenko, Hall of Fame fighter. Been in there with Teofimo Lopez, Hall of Fame fighter. He's been in there with some top names in and around 135 pounds and 140 pounds. Everybody thought he was going to be getting a crack at the IBF welterweight champion, Richardson Hitchens. That fell by the wayside. Turkey Alley Sheep, a.k.a. Turkey Bags, wanted to match up Ortiz with Keshawn Davis instead. And here we are in a fight that on any other card would be a main event, particularly in Keshawn Davis's hometown of Norfolk, Virginia. That would be a main event fight in Davis's hometown. Davis, when he has fought in his hometown, has fought in front of 10,000 or more fans. In this fight, in this caliber of fighter, would have been another fight that would have generated a huge crowd in Norfolk, Virginia. But instead, it's going down at Madison Square Garden, the Big Apple. And this is going to be a good matchup, good test for Keshawn Davis. Keshawn Davis is a guy that's a very high-level fighter. He's a guy that don't have one-punch and knockout power, but he has thudding power in both hands. You know, he kind of remind me of George Foreman. George Foreman had that thudding power, man. You know, just do damage to his opponents, man. You know, just punishes his opponent every time he hits him with full force. And I think that Keshawn Davis reminds me of Terrence Crawford, man. He does a great job of punching with his opponent. You know, he's great at that. And a lot of times, those are the punches that do the most damage, man. Because, you know, you're trying to let your hands go and you're trying to connect with your punches. And a lot of times, you're not in position to see punches coming back at you. And those type of punches are really the type of punches that do damage to fighters, punches that they don't see. And Keshawn Davis, just like his mentor, Terrence Crawford, is a master at catching his opponent with punches that they don't see. Go back and watch the fights that he's participated in. He's had a lot of knockdowns, and a lot of them been with punches that his opponent didn't see. He'll be looking to do the same against Jamaine Ortiz. But Jamaine Ortiz, unlike many of Keshawn Davis's opponent, is not always aggressive, in particular in the fight with Teofimo Lopez. He kind of boxed in that fight. I think he's going to have to implement that style to have success versus Keshawn Davis. You know, when you look at when he fought Vasily Lomachenko and his other fights outside of that fight, he's been very, very aggressive. He does that with Keshawn Davis, he's going to get dropped and he could get knocked out. So I think he's going to come in and fight like he fought against Teofimo Lopez. That'll be his best chance at success. He'll be looking to box Keshawn Davis, frustrate Keshawn Davis, make Keshawn Davis have to figure out the style of Jamaine Ortiz. Present some problems to Keshawn Davis that he has not been presented with thus far in his career. I think that's what Jamaine Ortiz is going to be looking to do. You know, he kind of frustrated Teofimo Lopez, and Teofimo Lopez was much more advanced at the time that Jamaine Ortiz fought him than a Keshawn Davis. Now, Keshawn Davis has, in my opinion, a different mentality. He don't succumb to his opponent's will, his opponent's style of fighting, to get frustrated, and it becomes a fighter that is not productive in the ring. And I kind of saw that with Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martin and Jamaine Ortiz. You know, he couldn't get off like he wanted to get off, and he pretty much got stifled. He was able to win a controversial decision, in particular Jamaine Ortiz fight. I can see him winning the Sandor Martin fight. That was 7-5 either way, but there ain't no way in hell he beat Jamaine Ortiz. I had it 9-3. Maybe I might have been giving all the swing around to Jamaine Ortiz, but at worst case scenario, it was 7-5 Jamaine Ortiz. We can make it a happy medium, 8-4 Jamaine Ortiz. He clearly won that fight, in my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, that's neither here nor there. Can he implement the same style and have the same success with a guy that I don't think is weak mentally as Teofimo Lopez was in that fight in Keshawn Davis? That remains to be seen. That's what makes this fight so intriguing. So we will see what happens. And We will see what transpires. I do think Keshawn Davis gonna have to establish the jab. He kind of used that jab as a range finder. He don't really use it to score. I think in this type of fight, he's gonna have to use his jab. He does have the longer reach than Jamaine Ortiz. I think even though Jamaine Ortiz might be moving around a little bit, he needs to cut the ring out, but when he gets there, he needs to establish the jab. Don't come in through the front door unannounced, man. Come in behind the jab, because we all know when you come in through the front door unannounced, you subject to get a cap put in your ass. So when you come in following the guy around, that's what happened with Teofimo Lopez. He was following Jamaine Ortiz around, one coming in behind the jab. He was looking to land combinations, and a lot of times Jamaine Ortiz was beating him to the punch. Keshawn Davis hopefully watched that fight and learned from that fight. He's got to come in behind the jab. He does have a good jab when he decides to use it. He definitely gonna need to use that, because if he follows the guy around looking to land combinations similar to Teofimo Lopez, he could find himself in the same situation Lopez was in. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Both guys have good footwork. I don't see really any advantage of either way as Jamaine Ortiz or Keshawn Davis having an advantage in footwork. They're both fundamentally sound. I would probably say that Keshawn Davis has slightly quicker feet, but I don't think it's going to pay big dividends in this type of fight, because again, I think Keshawn Davis is going to be coming forward, and Jamaine Ortiz is going to be standing on the outside looking to counter, looking to pot shot, looking to frustrate Keshawn Davis. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, Jamaine Ortiz has been doing a lot of talking in the lead up to this fight, basically saying Keshawn Davis is too green, he's too wet behind the ears, he ain't on the level of a Vasily Lomachenko or Teofimo Lopez. And in his mind, he beat both of those guys, so he thinks that since I beat guys that are better than you, I should have no problem beating you. And he just looking at it as, hopefully he'll get the nod by the judges. But he got to understand, he's got to do more, because even though I thought he beat Teofimo Lopez, I can understand people looking at that fight saying he was doing too much running. He didn't take the title from the champion. He should have sat down on more of his punches. I think he's probably going to be looking to do that a little bit more. I think you want to fight how you fought against Teofimo Lopez, but in spots, sit down on your punches. But you got to be very, very leery. Again, Keshawn Davis is a master of catching you with punches that you don't see. He's a master at punching with his opponents. And he's going to be looking to do that with Jamaine Ortiz, figuring that he is the more powerful puncher. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. This is a good matchup. This is the toughest opponent that Keshawn Davis has been in the ring with, in my opinion. I think after this fight, Keshawn Davis is going to say this guy was the toughest opponent I have had thus far. Tougher than Maduro, and tougher than that WBO lightweight champion that Keshawn Davis won the belt from. I think he's better than those guys. He's better than Yejit. He's better than all those guys. Now, Jamaine Ortiz might, you can make an argument that Keshawn Davis ain't even in the top two of toughest opponent in Jamaine Ortiz's resume. You can look at the fact that Jamaine Ortiz fought Vasily Lomachenko and fought Teofimo Lopez. Two guys arguably better than Keshawn Davis. But we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. He fought Vasily Lomachenko that was not in his prime. Still a high level Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko went on after the Jamaine Ortiz fight and got the dub in that fight to take on undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney in a very, very good fight. A lot of people thought he won that fight. You got more people thinking he won that fight than lost that fight. A lot of people thought he won that fight 8-4, 9-3. I had it 6-6. I had a draw. I had no problem with Devin Haney getting a decision. A lot of swing rounds, could have went either way. So this wasn't no robbery like people were claiming it to be. A lot of Devin Haney haters were saying it was a robbery. That'd have been one of their fights. They'd have been swinging up and down that they won that fight. It was just one of those fights. A lot of swing rounds, close fight, very, very competitive. And at the end of the day, the decision was justified because Vasily Lomachenko did not do enough to take the title away from the undisputed champion at that time, Devin Haney. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm about as excited for this fight as I am for the main event. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not saying I'm more excited, but I'm just excited. This is like we got two main events. The whole card is loaded. But the co-main and the main, I'm looking forward to these two fights. Can't wait for it to go down, and can't wait to give my observations after it go down in my post-fight analysis. I want all you guys that's watching this video to let me know who you like in this particular matchup. I like Keshawn Davis to win a decision over Jamaine Ortiz. I got him win this fight by decision. I don't think he knocks out Jamaine Ortiz. Jamaine Ortiz is a very, very good fighter, a B-level fighter. And I don't see Keshawn Davis stopping him. I don't see him stopping him. I think he does enough to stay in there and stay competitive, but I think he falls short. I think it's going to come down to cleaner, effective punches. I think both guys will have their moments, but I just think that Keshawn Davis punches will be doing more damage and will be a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more snappy. You know, those punches will be a little bit more visible to the judge's eyes. Because when Keshawn hits you, everybody in the arena see when he hits you. He's very, very purposeful fighter, man. He hits you with solid shots, thudding shots. And those shots, I think, will pay dividends in the judge's eyes, and he wins a decision. When you look at the punches landed and the punches thrown, I think they'll be close. Be very, very close. Very, very close. Less than 10 punch advantage for either fighter that's ahead in that fight. But I just think it comes down to one guy landing the more effective punches. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who you like in this particular matchup? Do you like Keshawn, the businessman Davis, to win the fight, or do you like Jamaine Ortiz to win this fight? If you think it's going to be a knockdown, let me know that as well in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, and follow me on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe. Follow me on TikTok at JB Sports New Media. Follow me on Twitch at Briscoe MA 77071. Follow me on Instagram, JB Sports 9707. And follow me on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe. And follow me on my 2 YouTube channels, at JB Sports, The Man, The Myth, The Legend 9656, and at JB Sports, The Man, The Myth, The Legend 8000. And like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, The Man, The Myth, The Legend. And I holla.